Greetings Ravens, FiOth here, and today we'll be having a look at the Trueno. The Trueno is an interesting weapon in the sense that it is categorized as a missile weapon, but it is in truth a couple of steel chunks thrown towards the enemy's face. They have quite meh travel speed and you have to be optimally positioned to use it. For some reason, people seem to really dig them, especially in PvP. So I got a couple of clips to show you here. I don't know if you noticed how inconsistent the hit or miss situation is, but I saved them both because they evolve in a very different manner. One's in a fight where every shot lands, and another is one where the enemy moves a little bit more. You can study them later on, but for the time being we're jumping right into the breakdown.
So, what is the deal with the Trueno? For comparison's sake, I'm gonna compare its stats to one of the most popular shoulder weapons in the game, the Songbird, and we're gonna see some interesting results here. First and foremost, attack power is pretty much half of the Songbird's. The same goes for impact, and the Trueno is ultimately supposed to be an impact weapon. Accumulative impact is also much lower, and there is no comparison to blast radius because it's a direct hit weapon. If you don't hit, you don't cause any damage, there is no collateral. Where it shines, it is the direct hit adjustment damage multiplier when attacking a staggered enemy. More than twice the effectiveness of the Songbirds on that regard. If we compare it to the Needle Launcher, attack power, impact and accumulative impact is pretty much the same. Direct hit adjustment is just a tad lower, but let's not forget that the Needle Launcher has insane energy requirements. So it stands to reason to think that the Trueno would be a weapon mostly suited at dealing direct hit damage, that is, when the enemy is staggered. And staggered enemy means that they're not mobile. Thinking like that, it makes a bit of sense that the Trueno is a slow traveling projectile, but it still is classified as a missile launcher. That means that your FCS needs to be one that has high missile lock correction. Not multi-lock doesn't help you in the least because, you're just firing at an enemy per shoulder, but missile correction is what you want to go for. The P10 SLT is a good solution for this, and it will also help you with close and medium range combat. That's a good range to fight in with these weapons because before they travel to your target, in most cases, they will be out of stagger, so you need to be in their faces. I'm going to take it against the Trainer AC in AC test, and we're going to see just what kind of damage we can expect on an average AC enemy. So here is our Trainer AC. I am going to look away from it so we can reacquire the lock and look at the time required. As you can see, you acquire your lock pretty fast. There are slower weapons, but considering how this works, it could be a tad faster. For me, the problem with Trueno is that it has a lot of parts, a lot of characteristics that seem like they would work, but for every positive it has, there is something negative about it. So let's fire one. We see we're doing about 50% of the stagger. I'm gonna wait for the stagger to drop to 0, and then I'm gonna apply both at the same time. You see that we're just shy of getting a direct stagger, and then the AC starts to recover. Any weapon really will deal a total stagger after we're so close. Like hit it with a shotgun and you get it in a stagger state. Problem is, if you are waiting for this lock-on to happen again, you're not gonna get any shots in. So you have to go in with something else, stagger, and then go with the Truenos for the finishing blow. This way, yes, it's absolutely gonna work. And if you're not having an enemy that can move fast in front of you, it will also deal some respectable damage. What you really want to do though is have an enemy in a stagger state and then unleash both of these mofos on them and deal as much damage as possible. I'm gonna be honest, people, especially people playing a lot of PvP, swear by this thing. There's a lot of Trueno appreciators out there. Unless I'm missing something crazy here, I am not convinced. You can have weapons that either deal more damage, deal more impact and more damage, or deal collateral damage, so you can depend on splash to get some hits in. It's also one of the missile weapons with the least course correction whilst you are firing it. If you were paying attention to my initial gameplay snippet, you would have noticed that they kinda veer towards the enemy, they kinda turn mid-air like most missile weapons, but compared to the, let's say, 12 battery missile launcher, the vertical one, this is nothing. It's as slight as it could be. Least amount of effort made. So why the Trueno? It doesn't have an insane energy requirement, and yeah, you're gonna deal some good damage when the enemy is staggered. The weight is so-so, you could use something lighter or something a bit heavier, but it's nothing to write home about. If you ask me, if you want my honest opinion, I'd go with pretty much 80% of everything else on the shoulders. But because I always have a spot in my mind for something I might have missed, I would very much like to hear your opinions on the Trueno. I'm gonna demonstrate the damage cycle once more. A huge ass lance launch, fully charged, and these things are about, let's say, 65% of the entirety of the AC's health. Can we do better? If you remember my chronic vid that you can watch right here, of course we can. Sub, like, and share, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. I'm uploading AC6 content daily. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!